Welcome back to Ringside right now. You know, with the fellas as always. And before we get started, be sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below so that way we can give you a little shout out. So, we know Raw took place last night, fellas, and it was an interesting show. So, hey, you guys want to start by saying what stuck out to you guys?
Well, before we get to the obvious, which is, the main event, I want to send a shout out to Becky for her awesome promo, especially, the whole, what was her line, the exact line? You've been doing a good job considering you've been injured more than you've actually been here. That was
a killer
burner
line.
right there.
That was
a
a nice
burner.
burn. That was a nice burn.
Yeah.
I said it last week. You got to give Becky her flowers because her promos have just been phenomenal. She's just overall, you could argue the best of the four horsewomen because we can talk all day about the Charlottes, the Baileys, and the Mercedes Monets, but look, Becky has been overall the most consistent.
Exactly. You can always debate which of them are the better wrestler, but Becky is definitely number one on the mic out of the four of them.
Yeah, you could tell Dusty really took his time with her when she was in NXT to kind of build up her promo skills. And of course, you staying in the same house as Seth, I'm pretty sure that's a good bouncing back and forth.
Exactly.
Like, hey, if I say this, say that, things like that.
Can you imagine them getting into husband and wife arguments? It's just like one big ass promo going back and forth.
I can only imagine.
What about
these dishes?
the dinner table?
Yep.
When Rue is finally old enough to talk to do decent conversations, but that's a whole
like, I don't know why I should have to do the dishes when I'm the one that's the star in this family and keeping the food on the table. I'm the one who's not getting hurt and dropping my title.
Wow.
That would be cold-blooded.
Let's hope it doesn't get to that.
Oh.
Exactly. But for sure, the women's division of Raw needed that shot in the arm from Becky. And then La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer being back is another added shot in the arm because it desperately needed. Because like I said, Liv was champ over 100 days, didn't defend not once. I mean, come on.
And then even with the Intercontinental title, you got a good feud starting up between Soul and Lyra, where they're kind of teasing at that. We had talked before about Soul Ruka not living up to expectations on the main roster. We didn't know if it was just nerves or being in front of a bigger crowd, what have you, but she wasn't performing the way we expected her, especially considering what we've seen from her in NXT. So I think this is a chance for her to kind of build her confidence back up. That tag match, she was looking better last night. So hopefully this feud with Lyra will kind of boost both women back up. And like you said, give a shot in the arm to the women's division.
Maybe Lyra to Soul could kind of be like how Rhea and Charlotte is to Jade, as far as Jade is not known for her good ring work, but in the match with those two, they make her ring work look a lot better. So maybe for Lyra and Soul, that could kind of be that trade-off that kind of helps Soul kind of step up, because she could do the uber athletic moves, but the basic wrestling and the basic storytelling is her problem. And I think that's the reason. I think I've seen it mentioned on a couple other shows and dirt sheets that's been their disappointment in Soul calling her up to the main roster.
And that's why I say I think it's something with her confidence or something internal, because we didn't have this problem out of her in NXT.
No, you didn't.
So, we saw her on, what was it, Saturday night's main event?
The John Cena
the John Cena
classic
yeah.
Yeah,
she killed in that match.
Yeah, it's like night and day. Like, what happened? So I think it's just nerves. That's why I think it's something in her. I don't think it's lack of ability. I think there's just something going on. Growing pains maybe with going to the main roster. Once she shakes that off, I think she's good.
Man, I think the bar was set high. Go ahead, Curtis. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you was about to make a good point. Yeah, the bar was set high, but like Clinton says, sometimes, again, it's just growing pains. You just have to kind of I think it's just gonna take reps for her, and once she gets through those reps and kind of starts to really get an idea of what she needs to do, she'll be fine. So she just needs. It just takes time.
Yeah,
Definitely. Now, of course, another thing that stuck out to me last night was the obvious Bron and Oba, kind of they're building for that. And I like how they did the backstage segment with Bron first, kind of like, so what do you think of Oba? And it's almost like he's almost doubting himself. And now he has to prove a point. And now that kind of leads to him and Oba having this stare down.
Well, is it him doubting himself, or is it him taking offense to Oba being called the future? I see it that way. I don't think he's so much doubting himself. I think he's getting angry because everyone's starting to say it, but it hurts most of all that Paul is saying it, because, for that, he values Paul's opinion. So if Paul Heyman is saying it, I've got a problem. That's what Bron is thinking. I've got a problem. Because he's not doubting himself. He's not going, oh, I'm wondering if I'm good enough. He is obsessed with Oba. Like during that match, Austin Theory and Tozawa, he stared at that entranceway the entire match. Logan Paul was at ringside, he's cheering on Austin and trying to get Bron into it. Bron was dead set focused at the entryway. He's like, I'm wishing Oba would come out.
Well, maybe I shouldn't say, doubting yourself, but almost to the point to where it's like, I have to prove a point. So
Yeah,
maybe not necessarily this doubt, but like proving, no, I was that guy first.
Yeah, I think that's more like it, trying to prove a point. But again, it's the point of obsession with Bron, because Oba only came out, when Bron was going to attack Tozawa, but you don't see Oba focusing so much on Bron as Bron focusing on Oba. So I think that's going to be the point of this storyline, where I've got something to prove, and I've got to take down the giant killer, the Lesnar killer, so to speak.
Yeah. Curtis, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's more so, okay, I understand you saying all these things about Oba, which is well merited, but you got to realize, but he's got to do something that'll make that statement to make you realize, hey, I'm the one that you should be fearing. I'm the guy that's the real beast around here. And the fact that Paul Heyman isn't even making a big fuss about him, that's huge. So I would like one thing I would like to see is him do something and then interact with Paul Heyman and let him know, look, did you forget who you're dealing with here? Or do I have to keep reminding you?
Well, this is how I'm taking the storytelling part of it. And maybe I'm looking too deep. Okay. Paul was with the Vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when Brock stepped back in the picture, he kind of shifted away from the Vision some, right? And he really shifted away once Brock actually took a loss to Oba at WrestleMania. So it was kind of like, okay, my beast is in trouble, and I see someone who beat my beast. I'm sorry, Bron. This guy beat my beast. No, I'm going this way. And that speaks to the offense part.
Exactly. But like Paul said, yes, I respect Oba until you give me a reason to not respect him. So going back to what you said, now Bron has something to prove.
I think you have so many directions you go with this, especially if you have Oba eventually getting his title shot, being King of the Ring winner, since they want to stress him being the winner. Maybe you put Bron into the Money in the Bank match, and now you can create a scenario where either Bron or Oba win a title, and now the other can cash in on the other. You see what I'm saying? You kind of, and maybe build that toward, say, like a WrestleMania type deal.
So here's what I'm worried about. Eventually, we are going to see that clash. We're going to see Oba versus Bron. Who wins, and how does it affect the push of the other guy? Do we really want to see Oba take a loss? Do we want to see Bron take a loss?
That's what I was about to say. Who benefits more? Who can withstand a loss more? Like we were curious about Oba taking a loss to Brock at first, but you see, it kind of helped build up to that third tier. And I wonder if they're going to do the back and forth with those two, like kind of one, and then the rubber match type deal.
The only difference is Brock was putting over on his way out. If Bron puts him over, he's not on his way out. He's still there. He's still supposed to be the part of the future of the company. So how does that affect him? A loss for Brock doesn't affect him. It only elevates Oba, but it's not the same in this instance.
Well, I think one, you have to get him out of that tag title thing with division. Maybe go ahead and enact like a Freebird rule with them when Logan Paul is fully healthy, so you can kind of
I think
slide
that's
that
the
belt
plan.
off of him and go that way.
I think that's the plan, but they have to get him healthy. I mean, he has to heal, or Bronson has to come back.
But Bronson looks so different now.
Oh man, Bronson is gonna murder when he gets back.
I need to know what his workout regimen and diet plan is so I can get that small.
But I'm wondering, with him looking like that, is he not ready to come back as far as health wise? What's the hold up?
And my thing is, with him being that small, his moveset's going to have to change.
Yeah, because
I can't see the tsunami being quite as effective.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. It's not going to be as devastating looking with him being smaller.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah. And maybe that's why they haven't had him come back yet. Like he has to add to his moveset or change up his moveset and be proficient with him before they bring him back.
Yeah, he would definitely have to change it because his current moveset doesn't fit his size at all.
Not now, no.
There are guys, usually when we say that his moveset doesn't fit his size, we're looking at guys like Jacob Fatu. We're looking at big guys who move like cruiserweights, and it's the opposite. It's not in a good way. So he's going to have to change a lot.
Exactly, because he wasn't uber athletic like Jacob. You know what I'm saying? Like he had the one top rope move, but Jacob has a lot of stuff that he could do flying around because of course he loved luchadors. But Bronson is a power wrestler, but now his physique is not power based. Not like it was, but at the same time, Bron Breakker is not a big guy, but he's still a power wrestler with aerial elements.
I think he could still be power based. It's the weight based moves that won't have an effect, like the tsunami. I mean, if he still wants to do the tsunami, it could still be a finisher, but it just wouldn't look as devastating as it did when he was, bigger. He doesn't have that. It's the weight based moves, sitting on a guy's chest and stuff like that. Stuff where you go, oh, that's gotta hurt because he's a bigger guy. Right. Versus, if you see Bron Breakker doing those same moves, it's not going to have the same effect visually.
Yeah, so there's got to be something. I think you can still have the splash, but I don't think that could be his finisher. I think he has to have a different finisher, like some type of like a driver or something like that. Maybe if he can go back and do like a Rikishi type driver, which was it the Tiger driver is what it's called, T-bone super, the T-bone driver or something like that.
I forget what it was called, where he kind of
it's like a sit-out driver.
Sit-out driver, yeah, exactly. That could work.
Yeah, I think for him, that would work for him, where he could still kind of wrestle big, even though he's not big, and still have a powerful finish. But
well, we'll see what he's looking like when he comes back, and then we'll see what they've done with him